it up!
Thank you for watching the Shikama Live show. I have just hit 10,000 subscribers. I just want to say thank you to everybody. Now, I've discovered that YouTube is playing a little bit of dirty pool, and some of my videos are being suppressed because they're quote-unquote controversial. But I think that you all need to hear the other side of the story, don't you? Right? I think that's why most people have subscribed to me, because they want to hear the alternative view of the news. And that's what I give to you. And that's what I'm going to keep giving to you. Now, unless NBC wants to hire me and kick out the lion guy, you know, I'm open to possibilities. It's just that right now, my business, I run it how I want. And I research the news. I research the histories of these people. And I present an alternative view that I think is the real view. Are people just angry? Are they mad? Or have we done something, gone to their country and done something to them? And they're not mad at all. They're just retaliating against our own shenanigans. Are people jumping to conclusions and wanting to steal guns, really? Or is there some alternative person that's donating money to somebody's political campaign who wants guns taken out of the hands of honest, law-abiding citizens who, by law, by the Constitution, are supposed not just have the right or the freedom, but are supposed to carry guns? Does a woman really have a right to murder her unborn child? And can a man not stop her? Or is there an alternative view that says a woman has absolutely no right to murder an unborn child, and that the entire notion of condoms, birth control, is nothing more than population control for people that the elites considered unfit to repopulate the earth with their seed? Is there an alternative view that says all humans are welcome to be alive? I mean, do we not sit there and mourn over children born with disabilities and spend millions and millions of dollars on them, knowing fully well they won't even see their teen years? Yet we give no thought to children who had the misfortune to being inside the womb of one of these women who are convinced it's her right to murder the child, and that any alternative view to that is somehow infringing upon her womanly right. You can't have an alternative view that says you're a murderer. You have been convinced by people who don't even have your best interest at heart that you have some sort of weird, godlike right to murder a child who came into your womb through a man. Does the man have the right? No, he doesn't have the same right. And in fact, the man is going to go to life in prison for doing the same exact thing without any argument that in fact it's his child. But he's going to go to jail for life for doing the same exact thing that women now don't even think about doing, that you could take a life so carelessly. Or the alternative view that this entire question of marriage and gay marriage, or even straight marriage, is all smoke and mirrors, because the entire concept is made up for a goal that no longer is in practice because this society has deemed children to not be human. Why? Because you can murder them in the womb and not even think twice about it. That's the attack on marriage. Because the whole point of marriage is for the two families to be joined in one couple and have a child so that the both bloodlines can be mixed into one in one human being. That's the attack on marriage. The whole propaganda about homosexuals isn't even being put forth by homosexuals. It's being put forth by the very same people who are championing abortion. Same people, same message, different day. Humans need to die. Humans need to die. Peasants need not propagate. And if they can do that through the homosexual message, they'll do that. If they can do that through the abortion message, they'll do that. And convinced stupid women that somehow they have a godlike power to murder their unborn children, destroying any possibility of a commingling of bloodlines. Nobody talks about that. The mainstream media isn't going to talk about that. And finally, the alternative view that black people aren't criminals, or niggers, or thugs, or hip-hop artists, or rappers, or ballers, or sports people, that black people have been so indoctrinated by white cultures that they don't even have their own identity any longer. It is completely vanished, wiped away. And yet, the majority of the white population still feels that black people are somehow different from them. Black people in America do not have their own identity, do not have their own culture. It has been so overtaken by white degenerates, white religion, white indoctrination, that they can't even identify where their ancestors came from. Even the most redneck, poorest, degenerate white person can say, oh, I'm Scotch, Irish, German, with a twist of Italian and Russian. A black person can't even tell you the general area. West Africa, East Africa, North Africa, Southern Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, Central Africa. At all. No, not at all. Not even close. Not even the area. Definitely not the tribe. And definitely not the bloodline. And definitely not the name. So completely wiped. And if you say that's a bad thing to white people, they will get defensive and say, that doesn't matter. Then it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter that you're Irish, German, Russian, with a splash of Japanese, a splash of Korean. It doesn't matter. You're American first, right? Right? No? Why not? Why is that important to you, but it's not given the same importance to the entire population of the black Americans? I have to identify the real problems. Your own white philosophers have said, if you divest a person of their culture, of their history, of their ancestry, you can then control them. Who does that remind you of? Hitler. Why does it remind you of Hitler? Because we Americans trained Hitler. Our American thinkers, philosophers, no matter how degenerate they were. Margaret Sanger, who created Planned Parenthood, who said that the mongrel races should be wiped from the face of the earth, who has her damn Planned Parenthood clinic in every black neighborhood all over the nation, corresponded with Hitler and taught Hitler. And when the President of the United States said, oh no, you can hate the Africans all you want, Hitler, but why are you targeting Jews? And Hitler wrote back, ha, 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 look at how you're treating black people in your own country. You are worse than I will ever be throughout history. They don't teach you this in school. They don't talk about that in school. And this is going on today. We had on MSNBC, of all places, a retired sergeant from the police force from the Black Brotherhood of Cops, because apparently the Fraternal Order of Policemen apparently doesn't particularly care for black policemen to be in their ranks. Oh, they might have one or two in there at the meeting. But when it comes time to recruit, they don't go looking for black policemen. So the black policemen have their own group. And he said it is worse today than it was 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Worse today. And before the whole civil rights movement, you had black people being strung up in trees for daring to walk on the same sidewalk as a white person, strung up in trees. What's the difference between then and today? Today, they have bullets. And today, it is not the common population that does it. Now, it is police. You can't question police. You can't throw police in the jail. You know, they had some trials for those people who were stringing up Negroes. Oh, no, they didn't go to jail. They simply had a trial. And all of those people went scot-free. Even recently, they caught up with a man who murdered a black man. Some 50 years later, went to trial, got away scot-free. Lack of evidence. What was the evidence that they did have? Eyewitnesses. Countless eyewitnesses. Apparently, that is no longer good enough in court. It used to be in the Old West. I live out here in Las Vegas. It used to be in the Old West that eyewitnesses were the smoking gun. You didn't need a gun. You had an eyewitness. Then if you had two eyewitnesses, oh, he's going to the chair. Or back in those days, he's headed for the nearest tree himself. Yes, they strung up white people too. But now the races have badges, uniforms, Kevlar vests, bulletproof vests. They come seize your gun and then shoot your children. More black children die by police gunfire than they do any other gunfire. You're not going to hear this in the news. I want to tell you, this is the alternative. This is the stuff that I bring you. And what's funny is I get people saying, well, you haven't linked to anything. You know what? You spent all of your life parked in front of NBC and never once did you write them and say, is this true? What evidence do you have to prove this? And time again, other people have shown you that NBC is giving out completely false stories. The facts are completely false. Totally made up. And what's funny is they'll point to Fox and say, oh, Fox has fake news. Anybody who watches Fox is stupid. They have fake news. Oh, you've had the run of the mill of the TV news broadcasts for decades. You've perfected it. You have an audience all of your own. You have decades. And we've proven that you, NBC, CBS, ABC, MSNBC, CNN, have done completely fake reports over and over and over. So much so that the Watchdog website that was created specifically to fact check and keep Fox News in check, to make sure they didn't give out fake, phony, or completely false stories. When they started to see that the other news channels also did it, they broadened their scope to every news channel, and then came out and said, they're all fake and false and phony. And in fact, we find that Fox News reports the same exact thing that you do. They just have better looking women. They have younger looking, bustier, better weaves in their hair. I know you knew that, right? They put on about 10 pounds of extra hair when they go on camera. Yes. They spend a lot of time in makeup. Much more so than NBC, I guess. And now NBC is going out of business because even liberals don't want to take the fake liberals' outrage. Well, that's what I'm assuming all of you all like about me, right? That you like that I present the alternative information to these stories. I'm assuming that you've already seen the news. Some of you say that you're getting your news from me. And while I applaud that, I want you to watch the news, and then I want you to hear it from me, so that hearing the alternative view to the actual information, you can see over time and spot the fakeness in the stories. There was a recent interview that they did with Rand Paul, and Rand Paul told the reporter point blank, your story is completely fake and false. Your allegations have no basis. You're here trying to attack me when in fact, the actual story is that I was championing the entire piece, that I was the good guy that brought it to the attention of the authorities, and that it was I that led the charge to create equality between the young and the old doctors, and that the old doctors should also be included in going and back and getting recertified. But you're trying to make it look like the story was that I got campaign funding or something ridiculous. And he did it so well that when she let Rand Paul go off of the air, she was scolded right there on camera by an old reporter. There you have it. I present to you more information, truthful information. I know a lot of you reject it, and I just simply chalk that up to you being stupid. Because if you tell somebody the truth and they reject the truth, then by definition they are stupid. Somebody who is ignorant is somebody who does not know the information. But once they know the information and they accept the information and incorporate that information in their bevy of knowledge, that person is wise. If you hear the information and reject the information, you are stupid. And what's funny is, I almost have a doctoral degree. And people say, with what authority do you say these political things? By my own authority. I don't have a PhD, but I almost have a PhD. I was in a PhD program for political science. I'm a Ronald McNair recipient of this Ronald McNair Scholarship. All sorts of scholarships for political science and law. I'm my own authority. I'm published. The people that you see on the news, they don't have authority. They went to school to learn how to get on the news, ask questions. They don't actually have any expertise in the information. Their expertise lies in looking good, which is the luck of genes, right? And being able to ask questions. And it was supposed to be that they present the answers of these questions in an unbiased manner. But those days are completely gone. There is no more journalism. Now there is only infotainment. Well, I'm putting more journalism back into journalism, all right? Thank you all for 10,000 subscribers. If you want me to sing and dance or whatever I said I was going to do for 10,000 subscribers, go ahead and tell me in the comments. Thank you.
Turn it up!